My name is Rocky Collins.
My name is Mike Evans.
I'm from Houston, Texas.
My name is Brandon Brown.
I am from Detroit, Michigan.
My name is Jasmine Rockmore, and I am the producer of Transplant the Transformation.
Oh, LA. I have been saying I wanted to move to LA since since I started going to college. I'm like, I'm gonna move to LA. I just kept telling everybody, I'm moving to LA, I'm moving to LA. And it took me a long time to do it because I had baggage in Michigan. I was in relationships. I just kept pushing it back, like, oh, I gotta do this. And I got a really good job. I got a really good job at General Motors, which is a really good company in Michigan, Motor City. And I was a material analyst, corporate. I was working in corporate to the T, like salary. They gave me all this stuff and rate. I got a promotion my second year there, and so I got really stuck into the mode of, okay, well, I'm making money, I got my place, I got this, I'm straight. But then I would sit at my desk and I'm just like, I don't want to do this. My mom has stayed at her job doing the same thing over and over. I'm like, I don't want to do this. So, and I'm like, okay. So after sitting at my aunt's house, living with her, not really working, not making the money that I used to make, I was like, I've always wanted, and I lost everything that I had. I lost everything that I put weight in, like everything that I was just holding on. Like I was just like, I need everything I thought I needed. I was like, so I thought I needed a job. So I kept on to that. I'm like, oh, I need this money. I'm making this good money. Nope, that was taken away from me. Oh gosh, okay, I got a car, I got my place. Nope, I'm gonna give that up. Oh, a relationship. I love this relationship. I'm gonna keep this. Taken away. And I'm like, well, now it's time to live for me. Now I've been saying I want to go to California. I'm gonna go to California.
So originally, LA was nowhere on my radar because theater is like my bread and butter. Like I wanted to either go to New York, Atlanta, or Chicago. LA was nowhere on my radar. But in college, they had this during J-term, which basically you have a shorter winter break. They had like a Hollywood experience opportunity. So I was like, okay, let me like get into that. Let's see, because I do want to do film. I want to be on TV. So then that's what made me like do the Hollywood experience, moved out here. And basically how they set it up was they gave us a scene, they picked our headshots for us, and they gave us, they showed us how to prepare our resume in the film industry. So I went there and did a scene in front of like all of these casting directors. They gave us like a feedback. It was like how we looked physically and how our performance was. And then the second day, some of them was nice and then some of them was mean, like real mean. And then the second day, they set it up like a speed date. So it was like all these casting directors, all these managers, and all these agents. And basically you sit in front of them and you kind of like pitch yourself. They even had me like sing in the corner somewhere, and I was like, I'm about to sing my little heart out. It was basically you pitching yourself. And then if they like you, you get a card from them. And then they'll say, oh, well, it's pilot season. The time I went, it was pilot season. And it was like, we really want to like, because January, we really want to like sign you right now. But I had to go back to school. I was only there for like 3 weeks. So then I went back to school, realized, okay, there's a market for me. They like me. Let me look into moving to LA. And then that's when it changed to me moving to LA. But it was like trial and error.
Okay, so what made me want to move, like, honestly, it was just a feeling I had. I graduated with my master's on December 14th or 15th, I'm forgetting, it's like 3 years ago. It's 2015. And I told myself, I was like, in 6 months, I'm out of here. I don't know where I'm going. I knew it was between Atlanta and California because that's what I was like thinking about. So I was like, I'm just pray, God, lead me to where I'm supposed to be at. And one of my friends, she was already out here and she hit me up and she was like, there's an extra room out here. And I was like, okay, bet. I booked my ticket. It was literally 6 months. I left June 15th. So I graduated December 15th. I left June 15th and got out here. I'm like, the power of words is like not a joke. Like putting things out in the universe and just like trusting that God is going to lead you there. Because I told myself 6 months and I was literally out in 6 months. Like it's so crazy. And then even my plane ticket, I'm big with numbers as well. I graduated high school. I was class of 253 in girls high, and my plane ticket was $253. I'll never forget that. I just thought that was so crazy. Like I'm like, all right.
My decision wasn't an easy one. I was married. I got married at 20, and I was graduated college at this point, about to like getting ready to separate in my marriage. So it was one of those, you know how when girls cut their hair, it's like new life, new me, new life. That's kind of what it was. I did cut my hair too, just to point that out. I wanted to really find my happiness and find myself, and acting was always, even though I put it on the back burner, it was always something I wanted to do. So I remember at the time I was working at a department store, and I was like, I'm gonna go to California. I'm just gonna check it out. And I took a red eye, came out here, spent a day, audited some classes, fell in love, and I was like, I'm moving out here. At this point, I was getting ready to pursue my master's degree at UCF, and I got put on a wait list for Anthony Mindel's class. Right? Anthony Mindel's class started a couple of days before my master's program started. And then I got an email saying that I'm no longer on the wait list, that I got accepted. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna do it. So it was really to pursue what was true for me, what I felt was my purpose, and just taking a leap of faith and just knowing that, you know what, this is what God really has for me, because I've been praying about it, and this is where my happiness is. So that's what my push was, to move out here and to really pursue it, was to find my happiness, discover my creativity, and discover who I am as an individual, because I got lost being someone's wife, and just being someone's wife, someone's sister, someone's daughter, and I wanted to know who I was as a person, because I forgot who that was, and I was able to do that.
It was exciting. Me and my friend just drove from Houston. Like, I lived in Houston for maybe 3 years before I moved here. And we just drove in my truck and got to the apartment. I was like, oh, I'm here now. Like, what am I gonna do, you know? But I was there, and as soon as I got there, we like went to a studio session, and was just like trying to emerge into the culture. My first day, it was really exciting, and I was really, happy to be here, and I was excited about the possibilities. I was excited to be in a new place. I was meeting a lot of people. I was going to every event. I was trying to be on the scene, and I was like, yeah, I'm here, I'm excited, like, who I need to talk to? And just like running into actors and producers and stuff, that was like a really good space for me. And I think once the newness wore off, I was like, gosh, I kind of miss my family,
My first day in LA was a mix of emotions. From getting on a plane in Philadelphia, saying bye to my mom, and she crying. I'm like, oh my God, Mom, like you can fly out. I'm not leaving the country. To being on the plane, I remember first getting on the plane, I was so excited. I'm like, yo, I'm chasing my dream. I'm living a dream. Like, yo, I'm about to be in LA. I'm about to really do this. Rock, you ready? Yeah. And then once that plane got in the air, things kind of took a turn where I started freaking out. Then I'm like, what are you doing? What are you doing? Why did you leave? What are you doing? Are you crazy? Are you ready to do this? Maybe you should have stayed in New York. Give yourself another year. Like, all those thoughts. So then I just started getting paranoid. Then I got sick on the plane because I'm like stressing myself out. Like, yo, I left a job. I don't have a job. I don't know where my income is gonna come from. I don't know the first thing about breaking into the acting world. I didn't know any of that stuff, so I just was freaking out. But then when the flight landed in LAX, by the time I got there, and seeing it was at nighttime by this time, and seeing all the palm trees and stuff, and then I got excited again and all that. And then my sister, because she had been out here 2 years before me, picked me up from the airport. So then I was excited again. I'm like, oh my God, palm trees. Like, I'm in LA, I'm living in LA. Like, yo, and her boyfriend is super Inglewood from South Central, super Cali. So his accent, I'm like, yo, you talk like Stacy from the Wood. This is cool. What's up? So then I was happy, but again, when I laid down my head to go to sleep that night, it was just back to the fear again. So it was, that whole day was like this: excitement, fear, excitement, anxiety, excitement. And then when I went to sleep, it was pure like, yo, I don't know how, why, or what I'm about to do out here. I'm so stressed out, I can't even think about it right now. I'm gonna just go to sleep. I'm gonna wake up tomorrow and we gonna figure it out. And that was my first day in LA.
My first week in LA, horrible. Let me tell you, I cried so bad, like every single day. So I had interviews lined up, and like I would go to the interviews, and like it would be like, oh, you know, I feel like everybody was so nice and they was just loving me. So I'm expecting calls back. You know, back in Philly, when I interviewed for a job, I got the job. So it's like, you know, I have a very charismatic personality. So I'm thinking like, okay, like I'm gonna get these jobs. No, it was like, you know, I wasn't getting the jobs. I was extremely homesick. I was living with my best friend, so it was like kind of weird because I was bringing her energy down. And it's like, I wanted her to understand, like, I am here and I'm like freaking struggling because I miss everybody at home and I didn't think I was miss my family that much. So like the good part about it was by the time I woke up, my family, you know, people that had jobs were going on their lunch break, so I would call them and I would cry and they would listen to me and they'd be like, you only been out there for a daggone week, like you gotta chill. So what I decided to do was fast. And a lot of the times when I get anxious out here, even now, like that's like the answer. So I decided to wake up at 6 o'clock in the morning. And that's what time I was waking up anyway because I wasn't used to the time zone. And I lived in a studio apartment with my best friend. So I would get up at 6 a.m. and I would go in the bathroom because that was like literally the only privacy that both of us had. But I would go in the bathroom and I would pray for an hour every morning. And then that's when I started to see a shift in my attitude, a shift in the way I thought about this move. I kept on saying, you know, I stopped saying, I think I'm gonna go home next year, or I think I'm gonna go home in a couple months. And I kept on, you know, I was changed my dialogue in a way of me saying, I'm gonna see what God has for me.